Welcome to episode 3 of the Rugby Rundown. And as they say, third time is a charm. I'm one of your hosts, Alex Corbicero. Joining me is Will Hooley. And Will, we've got a pretty special show today. We've got a big announcement.
It's huge. And look, everyone would have seen the 2024 Major League Rugby schedule come out. And Corbs, for any eagle eyes out there, there is a certain team that we have all been waiting for.
Yes, Will, Major League Rugby is coming back to Los Angeles. And we decided here at the Rundown we had to take a road trip to make our way up there to get the rundown on RFCLA. And we have arrived on the ground in Los Angeles. We are at Dignity Health Sports Park. Unfortunately, we didn't bring the sunshine with us from San Diego, but this is going to be the home of RFCLA, your new 2024 LA MLR franchise. Will, exciting times.
Oh, huge. We can finally announce it, RFCLA in Major League Rugby. We've got some exciting interviews coming up, buddy. Let's just get into it, eh?
Let's get into it. I know all these fans have been wanting to find out more of what's been going on in LA, and to get the scoop, we've got a lot of great guests today, but our first guest is CEO of RFCLA, Pete Sickle.
Here for Major League Rugby 2024. Thank you. How does it feel to be in the room, finally here, ready to go?
Finally, not a moment too soon. No, really excited. Great opportunity to be joining the league at the right time. You know, the league has come so far over the last 6 seasons. Atlanta, great people there, the Callaway family, all the players and coaches and staff that have built it over the last 4 seasons. We're really grateful for the opportunity to bring them to Los Angeles, but also grateful for all the investment and, you know, love and hard work and sweat that's gone into building the team to now.
All right, Pete, so one of the things I want to know is I love MLR owners because you've got to be as passionate about rugby, I think, as I am to even to equate to want to do this. Why Major League Rugby? Why a professional rugby team? Talk us through it.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can match your passion, but
maybe.
Look, I was lucky. I was introduced to the game 40 years ago here in LA in high school, and so had been playing other sports, but fell in love not only with the game on the field, but also off the field. So whatever it gives us in terms of physical challenges and mental challenges during the game, for me, rugby is something really, really special in terms of the relationships that you build and the friendships that last over lifetimes. So it's been a long time since I've actually been able to play competitively. It's just so fortunate to be in a position to be building something to share with Los Angeles. This is my hometown. Rugby, we've been hearing for a long time, sleeping giants, fully convinced that time is gone. We're now on the rise with the World Cups coming in 31 and 33. We have an amazing window, amazing opportunity. There's new blood in Major League Rugby, new ownership, and when we look around Southern California, it's just a great place to play rugby, and the environment from youth to high school to college to club teams, there's no place we'd rather be. So, rugby is my passion, and it's great to be in a position to kind of give back and give opportunities to others. We really want to grow the game. Of course, we want to win games. It would be great to host the Shield at the end of the year, but I think we have broader goals, bigger ambitions to really, really grow the game. So over the next 5, 10, 20 years, if we can show that the trajectory of rugby, not only in Southern California, but all across the country has grown, we want to be a part of that.
Now, they're talking about being visible in that growth. I see the badge that you're wearing there, the crest.
There we are.
RFCLA. Talk us through a little bit about that, the colours involved as well, this new franchise.
Yeah, so, we've gone round and round. I can't take credit for this. I've given my ideas, but, brought in people with rugby backgrounds, with graphics backgrounds, with branding and so on. For us, it kind of touches on a few things about rugby and also Los Angeles. And we're trying to balance, tributes to tradition, but also looking forward to growth and being innovative in the future. So some people it might be hard to tell, but there's an acorn shape here. So if we go back to Southern California, before there were any people here, there was the oak tree, and this symbol of strength and stability and being solid and nurturing. So the profile is a nod to way back. And if you look at kind of the graphic design, it's a nod to, we think of LA 100 years ago and Art Deco and kind of the birth of Hollywood when LA really became on the world stage. In terms of colors, blue and gold, sky, sea, sunshine.
Where is it today?
We'll bring it. We'll bring it. It'll be here by March 3rd in round 1. No problem. But, and if you look at, obviously, there are lots and lots of sports teams, not only in LA, but throughout California, that have that kind of blue and gold. So we wanted to pay tribute to the traditions of sport here in California. But we do think, we've done it in a distinctive way. The A is very prominent, which gives a bit of a nod to our Atlanta heritage.
I did think that, yeah.
But we don't, we think that this stands out. So RFC, it's a traditional moniker, part of clubs. And we've looked around, if we look at other teams and kind of initials and so on, we think that this is something that fits into the landscape these days.
You align, mate. You're more passionate than me. I got to say, this guy's on fire, and you could see it. But I think it's not easy starting a team from scratch. I know we've got the relocation and everything, but starting here on the ground, what have been some of the biggest challenges that you've faced on this journey?
Yeah, there's a saying that it's kind of easy to build a house from scratch than to remodel sometimes. So, look, everyone in Atlanta's been fantastic. There are lots of staff and players and so on that wanted to be part of what we're building in LA, and there are folks who this was something that didn't quite fit. So if we look at the team roster or the staffing, it will be a combination of folks who've been involved and contributed to the growth of Rugby ATL, who are now going to be contributing to the growth of RFCLA. So there are going to be some challenges, I think, in preserving the best of what's been and then also kind of modifying it for what we're growing here in LA. Look, this all kind of came about, in some ways has gone very quickly. The discussions with ATL really only happened over the summer. So this wasn't an 18-month run up and a full plan of expansion that some of the other teams, I think Chicago or Miami, probably had a much bigger runway to kind of really think things through and plan. So we're running on the fly on several levels and trying to make sure that all the pieces fit. So we're really lucky to have a partner like AEG and have this fantastic match venue, but it goes beyond that. I mean, AEG, they're world class, not only in rugby, in sports in general, in entertainment, in business. So we're really lucky that we're going to be able to work with them starting from ground zero.
Well, I'm just looking behind me because I'm looking at the potential to grow fans in this magnificent arena, Dignity Stadium. I mean, this must give you an excitement. The Southern California rivalry is going to come back. San Diego versus LA. I mean, that's going to just grow the sport around here. And this is just such a great place to play some games in 2024.
No, I mean, this is fantastic. It's a world-class venue. We know not only Major League Soccer and NFL have used this as a venue, but it's the home now of HSBC Sevens over the last several years. I was here in February, had a great time. It's a fantastic atmosphere. It's a perfect place to watch rugby. We're excited that round 1 of the 24 season is going to be in conjunction with that HSBC Sevens weekend. So there'll be lots of excitement, lots of attention here in Carson at Dignity Health Sports Park, and we're just really happy to be part of it.
And obviously, LA has a good rugby community and an existing fan base. There's been MLR here before. How excited are you as a message to those fans who've not had a team that you guys are coming back and there's something to root for in LA?
Yeah, I have to admit, there was a concern because obviously the Giltinis, the way they finished the 22 season, I'm sure was very tough on not only the players and staff of the Giltinis, but their supporters, people who were looking forward to a playoff drive and so on. So, but when we started talking to people, people that I've known for 40 years who have been involved in the rugby community here, people I've just kind of met over the last several months or years, everyone can't wait for MLR to be back. How can we help? How can we get involved? How can we help you grow this thing? So We are definitely not here to be the, hey, we're the pros and we know best. What we're really excited is to form those linkages, to get into the community, again, whether it's grassroots, high school, collegiate, and really support those incredible programs and incredible people who have been growing the game for years and years.
It's going to take some time. That's what I'm gauging, which is fine. Year one. 2024, what are those kind of goals? We're going to speak with the head coach and a player in a moment, but is there from your end, have you got a line as to how you see that first season going?
Well, of course, we'll sell out every game.
Brilliant. Okay,
no problem.
End it now.
But no, look, this is an incredible market. As we've said, there's the core rugby community, which we really, really want to engage. And as we all know, going to MLR games around the country, there are people who didn't grow up with the game who, once they come to an MLR game, just say, this is fantastic. I can't believe I never heard of this. And then they start bringing their friends and their friends. So for sure, we want to engage with that core rugby community here in Southern California, but we also have an education piece to bring people in. And we go back to the core rugby values of community and passion and respect and integrity and discipline. And when people come out to these games, they notice this is something different. Whether they're already fans of the Rams or the Dodgers or the Lakers or whatever, when they come to rugby, wait a minute, I can have a selfie with the players after the game.
Accessible.
I can know these guys. And then when we're not hosting a match, we're going to be out in the community. So, and our guys, and you talk about teams across the MLR, having that opportunity to be a professional rugby player, as you guys both know, helping somebody see the game and understand it and get to a skill level or a rugby IQ level. I mean, it's so gratifying, not only the people you're helping, but you as the coach and the teacher. So we're going to be really, really active there as well.
And obviously, rugby in the States, we are in a very important phase here in the build into 2031 and 33. How excited are you as a new owner in the league to continue that growth from the grassroots up in rugby in America?
Oh, no. I mean, it's an incredible opportunity. It's also a big responsibility. We have a lot of work to do. I think the thing that's been really, really gratifying for me personally and for the organization is throughout this process over the last several months, look, we're all in this together. So the other owners, the other coaches, everyone, other general managers and so on, how can I help? I'm always here, whatever you need. Look, whatever happens on the field in those 80 minutes, everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to be on the upper side of the scoreboard. But if we step back, we're all in this together. And so what's good for the league and what's good for the growth of rugby in the U.S. is going to benefit all of us.
All right, Pete, and for the fans of Major League Rugby, and especially the LA fans, if they want to find a bit more about the franchise, more info, get connected, the schedule, tickets, where should they look?
Well, first of all, I have to say thank you for everyone's patience, because there's been a long time wait. Is it coming? When is it coming? So anyone who's interested about the team, about tickets, our opening weekend is round 1, March 3rd, same weekend as HSBC Sevens. But for any information about the team and tickets, go to rugbyfcla.com.
Lovely.
Fantastic.
rugbyfcla.com. You heard it there, fans. Get on it.
You heard it indeed. And Pete, look, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
No sun today. Bit of a disappointment. But we know the sunshine and all the good things are coming for 2024. Pete, thanks so much for joining us on the Rundown.
Thanks, guys.
Pleasure for your time, mate. Good luck, and hopefully we'll be speaking again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. So good to hear from Pete there, mate. I love the energy and love the passion. That's what you want in your MLR ownership group. That's why I said I love MLR owners, because you usually got to have that extra level of passion to put your money where your mouth is and your belief in the game. Fantastic. And what I also love is strong statement of intent, strong statement of commitment. LA Rugby fans, this isn't going anywhere in a short period of time. I do not get that sense at all. You're in safe hands.
Well, talking, of course, about Major League Rugby, we had to get on the CEO of MLR. It's Nick Benson. Nick, flown in, especially for today. What a great day for Major League Rugby. And I'm sure on behalf of the whole organisation, Los Angeles are back in MLR. You must be a very happy man.
Yeah, we're incredibly excited to be here today. Los Angeles is such a great market for rugby. The sort of levels of grassroots participation, the historic events that you've had here, right here in this stadium with the Sevens in the past. I mean, that's huge. All of the community events that have been held here over the years. It's got such a rich history of rugby, so being back here is incredibly important. It's also the second biggest media market in the country, which is obviously huge for us. We're really excited to expand our presence in Southern California again.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And when you look at Major League Rugby, we're now getting the momentum going, almost into the start of the year. You've got all the teams announced. How excited are you for this season coming up?
It's we're excited for 2024. If you look at the history of the league from 2018 to today, there's been this kind of constant story of growth. The ownership groups are incredibly committed, so we're really excited to have the leadership that we have in LA, and we can come back to that in a second. But having continually grown, having gotten a little bit better incrementally every year, and we look at what we can do this year in LA in terms of our ability to drive crowds, our ability to sort of put on a top-tier game day event with the sort of venue partnership that RFCLA has been able to put together with AEG, who are just best in class at holding events and putting on events in this building and filling the venue. Like, everything is about having best-in-class partnerships across the board, and they've really done that here.
I think hearing from Pete earlier, for me, what I got the sense is that they're really committed. This ownership group, this leadership group of LA are really committed. It's fantastic to see a new team in Miami as well. We know that their leadership group are also really committed. I think for the MLR going forward, it's strong across the board going into 2024.
Yeah, this is a heavy lift, right? At the team level, it's a heavy lift. At the league level, it's a heavy lift. Building a new sport, a challenger sport in the most competitive sports market in the world. So having ownership with strong leadership, a strong vision, and the ability to execute against that vision is incredibly important. You look at the ownership and the leadership group that's been put together here in LA, deep roots in the city, deep commitment to rugby, history operating professional sports teams in rugby specifically. So it kind of checks all the boxes, right? You look at what we've managed to the group that's come into Miami. It's kind of same thing. Really successful businessmen, deep DNA in rugby, deep ties to the city. And when you have those three things together in place, that's when you tend to be more successful, right? So having the right ownership, who are committed and have a big vision for what this can be, not what it is, what it can be and what it will be if we do everything right, is really important.
And when we look at sort of the league on a whole, last year I thought was a huge year for growth from the league. And it was obviously in the off season, there was a couple issues with teams maybe withdrawing from the league. We've had a similar bit with this season, but now we're into this stretch. Like, how excited are you for the continued growth of this competition?
The growth is huge. Being back in LA is incredibly important. If you look at the commitment and the vision and the sort of type of ownership groups that we have in the league today, we're in an incredibly strong place. You never like to see what happened in New York. You never like to see what happened in Toronto. Both very different situations and unfortunate for a lot of reasons and for a lot of people. But that's part of the evolution that happens in professional sports, unfortunately. And what we have today is we have a league that's coming into 2024 with incredibly strong ownership, incredibly aligned ownership, and incredibly committed to growing the sport and to making this a top-tier league.
While we have you here, Nick, just rugby in general, like, how big a part to play in this trajectory to 2031, 33 and above does the MLR play in that landscape?
Well, I mean, I'm biased, right? But we have to be a central cog. If you think about the landscape of rugby, and you think about where a young boy or a young girl has their first interaction with the game, where they learn the game, they're learning it right here on this field, right? When they come out to a game and when they run out on the field afterwards and interact with players like you, right, after a game, and they're throwing the ball around with you, and then they're going to the clinics before the game and after the game. That's the touch point. Right, and we have such an important job to do, to get into schools, to expose kids and parents to the game and to the lessons that this game can teach, which are incredibly important, and the values, right? So for MLR, we're the arms and legs that are out there on the field every day, growing the sport in communities, in the YMCA, at the Boys and Girls Club, at elementary schools and high schools. Our success at executing against that plan is incredibly important to the success of the sport in this country and those World Cups.
I think it's safe to say that the success of MLR and having Los Angeles here is only going to be a good thing, Corbs. Nick, thank you so much for joining us on the rundown.
Thank you for having me, guys.
I can honestly say I'm very excited now for 2024. Let's get going.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Mate. Yeah. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Nick.
man.
Exciting times then for Major League Rugby. Great to have Nick coming on, talking about the future and all the success coming. We have one last interview, Corbs.
It's a big one as well. And we've talked about to the ownerships, we've talked from the league perspective, but now it's time to hear from the player, from the coach perspective. And we have head coach of RFCLA, Stephen Brett, and player Jason Dahm.
So we've talked business, we've had Pete, we've had Nick, and now the fun part. I'm going to speak with head coach Stevie Brett and, of course, player Jason Dahm. Jason, I'm going to start with you. So you're now here in Los Angeles, my man. A new season ahead, a new team. How excited are you to be playing your rugby now here in LA?
Yeah, I mean, I'm stoked for it. It was obviously a gut punch moving from Atlanta. Like, that's where I'm from. It's where I'm raised in the Southeast. But I couldn't think of a better city to land in. Like, LA is a great rugby community, great rugby culture. Obviously, you got the beach and the sun. Can't wait to get a little tan on, you know?
Yeah, we're not getting much sun here today, but...
brought the rain from
Yeah,
Atlanta,
yeah, what's going on there? Thanks for that, Jason.
Sorry about that.
Not really that helpful for a day like today. Stevie, I mean, this is a tough challenge for you, you know, short turnaround, but you must be excited, man, to be here, playing your games with dignity, but also just being part of this new group going forward.
Definitely, man. As a new coach in the new city, like, being able to create something from scratch is something a coach would love to do, and I get that chance to do that. And you know, I'm looking forward to the squad that we've put together. So it's going to be a great challenge. I love challenges, as you know. We've coached you before, so you know, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good challenge.
And you know, in terms of your experience, you have a range of experience across the world. And I know, obviously, with Atlanta, you had the sort of themes of your play. You guys always were so fast off the line speed, whatever it might be. Do you have a different sort of way of going about things here in LA? Is it literally fresh start, or are you going to try and bring some stuff that was already in place from your Atlanta days?
You know, like we had an identity in Atlanta, but now it's a new identity. You know, in LA, it's a new team, new squad. You know, we're bringing across 11 guys from Atlanta, so we're bringing in pretty much 23 new players. So you have to start from scratch. You know, you have to bring new values, new environment, new cultures. So that's going to be the challenge for us, especially with such a short run up. But you know, that's again, I've been speaking with Jace for the last month over the things that we've been doing, and it's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited as well. And Jason, I know you had an injury, so you're coming back, wanting to be fit for the new season with that new team. How excited are you to gel? You have to gel quickly. We know as players, like, you don't get so long when it comes to pre-season, coming into an MLR. You know, how important is it to make sure that you hit the ground running in pre-season, ready for the season ahead?
Yeah, I think that's one of the great opportunities of a new team is that excitement, right? And it's a whole new group of fellas, so you have to make the time to get to know each other. You don't have your little cliques, you know. Everyone's coming in on an even playing field. And, you know, we've been connecting on WhatsApp, shooting the guys at Tel Aviv messages, excited about their final, and connecting through these little groups, having chats. So I'm stoked for it. I think we have a great group of fellas, some guys that I'm looking forward to play with instead of against, you know. So really, really stoked for this group of fellas.
And talking about a fresh, you know, group as well, within the coaching side of things, Stevie, just give us a little bit of kind of either an update, or what's your coaching staff looking like?
Yeah, so we've got a new coaching staff, very young coaching staff. So we're bringing in Kurt Coleman, who was obviously with us in Atlanta. He's a young, you know, obviously older in age, but he's a new coach coming into the league. He's got a lot of potential, and obviously he pretty much led our attack at Atlanta. So I've sort of been mentoring him for the last couple of years and to become a coach. So bringing him on board, he knows how I like to play. He knows the systems that I like to run. So it's going to be a really good fit for him. And obviously I'm bringing in Neil Tunner as well, who was with Jersey Reds a couple of years back. So he's coming on board to be the forwards and defence coach as well this year. So it's a new coaching staff. I'm looking forward to working with them. You know, we've got some really good ideas moving forward. So you know, all we've got to do is just get here now and land and start training. Oh,
absolutely. And pre-season is so big for a coach. Do you have goals for your first year? Can you give us sort of an outline of what you would like to try and achieve? Obviously, you want to try and win the competition, but you know, it's pretty fresh.
I think that the big thing for me is obviously it's such a new squad. It's the connections that we build within the players, within the community. So that is probably the biggest goal that I'm looking for is just to bring in the squad, the community into the connections that we want to bring and learn about each other, because we don't know. I don't know all the players obviously personally, because I haven't met them. I've obviously spoken to them but haven't met them. So you know, that's the big goal for me, is making sure that we connect with each and every individual, like Jason was saying, and and obviously after we do that, we connect with the community. And obviously the community is such a big thing in rugby.
It absolutely is. And in terms of like the community feel and building Los Angeles, rugby here in Los Angeles, Jason, the MLR has really grown. You know, having LA now into it is going to be huge. And I mean, grown on the field. You've been a player involved here in Major League Rugby for a while now. How would you say it's sort of, the competition's got better over this time?
I mean, I think you see it in the quality of play year in and year out, and the quality of athletes that we're attracting. Like some of these guys that are coming in are just stepping it up another gear, and I'm excited for this season. I know it's obviously really tough losing Toronto and New York, but honestly, what that does is strengthen the player pool even more, because now you have even higher caliber of player, you know, through the bench and the rest of the squad, from those guys getting integrated into other teams. So I think 2024 is going to be a ripping year for MLR in terms of quality of play, and I know we're going to bring it here in LA for sure.
Stevie, same for you. The competition's only growing, it's only getting better.
Mate, like, you know, San Diego's, the Seattle's, the Houstons, you know, the players that these guys are signing, it's just a credit to the league at the moment. You know, that's where the league's, like, players from international wanting to come and play here. You know, so that's just that shows something that the league's going in the right direction.
And my last question is about that just growth. Obviously, Jason, you've represented USA Rugby as well. This must be a big stepping stone, having rugby back in LA professionally, to then hopefully build future Eagles.
Definitely. I mean, if you look at LA, it might have more club rugby than any other city in the U.S. So having a team here means that we can have more outreach and have more opportunity for these young players, you know, 5, 6, 7, all the way through high school and club level, and engage in that community. The deeper the roots grow, the better the foundation. So I'm excited for what's to come for USA Rugby, and I think this is going to be a great thing for it.
Well, guys, I'll let you get looking at your apartments at Redondo Beach. Is that where we're living? What's going to be happening?
Yeah, beach view, beauty.
Beach view, yeah, is that the way?
That's where Jason's living, mate. He's living in the nice penthouse apartment in Redondo Beach.
I love it. Well, guys, hey, Jason, pleasure. Thanks for coming on to the Rugby Rundown.
You.
Stevie,
thanks,
always
Willie.
great to see you, buddy.
Mate.
And look, all the very best for the 2024 season.
Awesome,
Appreciate you.
So good to hear from a coach and a player. Well done there, Will, as well. And that's kind of us wrapping up our time here in LA. It's raining. It's telling us, let's get back to San Diego.
Let's go.